Hi there, Christine Weber here. I love supporting mature yoga teachers getting their wisdom out there in the world so they can feel like they're making a difference and support themselves. And that's what my work's about. So today, what I want to show you is a quick practice that you can use or teach your students if they are feeling exhausted when they wake up in the morning. Now, of course, sleep issues and fatigue and exhaustion are complicated medical issues that you want to get checked out and work with a clinician on to help you improve. However, yoga can be really helpful and supportive. And so I want to give you like a short practice. It's going to be 8 minutes or so that you can use in the morning when you wake up. So let's say you are in bed. This is a great place to do it. You can do it right in bed, or you can, even better, roll out your yoga mat right next to your bed. And then you can do the practice. You just get out of bed, get onto the mat and start the practice. So the practice starts by lying on your back like you would be in bed. Well, you might be on your side, so roll over on your back. And what we're going to be doing is subtly using the breath to change the energy. So this requires not just breathing, but paying attention to the breathing in specific ways, paying attention to the breathing, and then visualizing the breath moving into your body. So the first breath is inhale into your right hand and feel as if the breath is moving into your fingers. So stretch your fingers out. It's at the top of the inhale. They stretch as much as they can. When you exhale, they curl up. And then do the same thing with your left hand. So inhale into your left fingers. And exhale, they curl up again. Now we make sure that we want to put contralateral stuff into this practice. So inhale into your right hand and your left foot. And the reason you want to add the contralateral stuff, because when you're using both sides of the cerebral cortex at the same time, it causes you to have some attention and some focus. It fires up the norepinephrine circuits. So then left hand and right foot. Pause at the top of the inhale if you want, and then relax. You can do that as many times as you want. Inhale, right hand, left foot, and relax, and inhale, left hand, right foot. You go slow, but you can do it as many times as you want. Use that visualization, like the breath is coming from my nose, down into my arm, down into my leg. And after doing that, alternating several times, then you can do both arms, both feet. And relax. And do that again, both arms, both feet. Now there's another nuance here I want to talk to you about for a minute. And that's the question of where does the inhale go? Usually what you'll hear in yoga classes is that you breathe into your belly, and that can be effective for when you're working with certain things. But when you're trying to work with your energy, the best place to breathe is into your chest, because that uplifting and the ribs moving out to the side and lifting the chest up out of the hips, the ribs up out of the hips, that is creating an uplifting effect in the nervous system. Now, we're not pushing the sympathetic nervous system into fight or flight. Rather, we're giving it a little nudge in an upregulating direction, which is really good, which is what you need for energy, right? Okay, so we did the alternate hand and foot thing. The next thing we'll do is take the right arm up over the head onto the floor or into your bed behind you. That's an inhale. And then exhale and float that back down. We'll do the same thing with the left arm. So now we're getting a little bilateral stimulation. Left arm up. Then exhale down. And the next thing we'll add to this is the opposite foot. So as I inhale, the right arm goes up, the left foot flexes. And also we'll add pause for 1 or 2 counts. And then exhale back down. So pause is not clenching. It's as if the breath keeps coming in. Left arm, right foot, pause for 2 counts, maybe 1 count, and then exhale down. There's no clenching. The epiglottis stays open. It's like you're still breathing in. Right arm, left foot again. Pause for 1 or 2. Then release that back down. And then left arm, right foot again. And again, you're going to pause for 1 or 2 counts. And then just rest. And let all the muscles in your body, let everything rest. Sometimes the fatigue often, what the research shows, that fatigue is often a result, and depression, they're results of burnout. It's like you pushed and pushed and pushed so much. So even though we're adding a little bit here, we also want to always have some time for rest, because really what the system needs is to restore. So next we'll do both arms, both feet. Inhale, pause for 2. Exhale, release that back down again. Hey, if your low back doesn't feel good, you can always do this with your feet flat. Inhale, pause for 2. Harder to lift your toes, but it's possible. Exhale, back down. And that's it. That's enough. Just pause here again, take a moment and rest. So you're waking up in the morning and, that just starting with that little bit of movement, and then you can bring your knees into your chest and maybe do some rocking or squeezing in or circles. It can be really nice. Maybe you want to turn your head side to side and just get any kinks out of your neck. Okay, and bring your feet down flat. So take a moment here and just tune in and notice. We've only been practicing for about 5 minutes. We'll do about three more minutes of practice. And then when you're ready, roll to one side and come up to seated. So here you may want to sit on the edge of your bed. If you're in bed, you could sit on a bolster. You could sit on a chair. We're just going to sit for a few moments here. And now we're going to work with the arms from a seated position, and we're going to be using that same pause for 1 or 2 counts. So first, your right arm and your left arm both go out to the side, breathe in, but just the right arm goes all the way up. Pause for 1 or 2. Exhale, take that back down. Soft little ujjayi sound on the exhale. Inhale, both arms out to the side. Left arm goes all the way out. Right arm just stops at shoulder height. Pause for 1 or 2. And float that all the way back down. Now we're going to keep going with weird things in your arm. Your right arm comes up in front and your left arm goes out to the side. Pause for 1 or 2. So it's a little more confusing for your brain. And exhale, float that back down. And then you're going to switch. The left arm goes out in front, the right arm out to the side. Lengthen your spine. Lift your eyes. Eyes lift, spirits lift. Pause for 1 or 2. And release that back down. So that's a lot of strange, different movement on different side, which makes your brain pay attention. And then symmetry after the asymmetry is a good rule. Inhale both arms up because that's very integrative for the nervous system. Pause for 2. And release that back down. And then we'll do that again. Inhale, both arms up over your head. Pause for 2. And release it back down. So now you're sitting in your chair or on the floor, on your mat, or on the side of your bed. And you just take a moment here and observe the condition of your energy, how your energy feels. Yoga is not like a Red Bull or a cup of coffee. It can be, but that's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is more like gently nudging the nervous system in that direction of giving it more energy. And your breath is such a vital source of your energy that often is, that we overlook. We don't realize that there's so many ways that we can work with that. I am teaching a pranayama workshop. It's actually going to be fully recorded and you can watch it whenever you want. And we will be releasing that at the end of this month. And it is addressing anxiety, depression, chronic pain, digestion, and I think there's one more thing in there, but all those challenges that many of those challenges that are very common for folks. So it's a therapeutic pranayama practice. So I'd love you to join me for that. Keep an eye out for it. It'll be coming. If you're not getting my emails, feel free to write us at support@subtleyoga.com so you can get my emails. I hope this little 8-minute practice is helpful for you. In terms of like something you could do first thing in the morning, just get a little bit of movement, a little bit of yoga, and use your breath as a way to change your energy and change your mood. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you next week.